Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor and welcome back to another episode of Fishing with Crendor, where I fish with people in WoW and we talk about things. And today's guest is Tradechat.
It's me.
It's you.
It's me. I'm Tradechat. Well, I'm
Hello.
technically Panzer. Like, people will say, like, should I call you Tradechat or should I call you Panzer? And I'm like, I don't know. Would you call Alex Trebek Jeopardy? And they're like, now I will.
That would actually be a pretty... I never even thought of it that way. Well,
that's how I explained it to someone, and they were literally like, well, it now seems like that's the trolliest thing to call him, so yes. Hey, Jeopardy!
It is a weird thing when you have a name named after a thing, so it's like, oh, it's Tradechat, but then you get compared to Tradechat, but then I think of Tradechat, and it's just people being like, where's Mandrake's wife? But my views on Tradechat also stem back to like 2009.
Fair. I was already making YouTube videos in 2009. I've known you forever. Wait, backing up. I don't know if your audience knows this. We've known each other for like ever.
It has been a long time. I think it was 2000. Well, I started YouTube in 2009.
It was probably like 2010. It was the first video I ever saw of yours was the MS Paint Cataclysm trailer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that
and then I was like, I like this video. This is a great video. And you used to be able to like feature other people on your channel. And I like featured one of your things because I really liked it. And then you messaged me and you're like, would you like to do a troll voice for this video I'm doing? Which, as an aside, I hate troll dialect. Like, I hate it. Like, I'm struggling through the battle for Azeroth Alpha because it's all like flipping out, Mon. And it hurts my brain. It's hard to read.
Yeah.
But I did
actually does.
I did it. And that's how we met. That's how I met your mother.
A YouTube message. I don't even think I've looked at my YouTube messages in like 14
I don't even know if they're
years.
a thing anymore. Are they a thing anymore?
I have no idea. If they are, I don't know how to find them.
Perfect.
But yeah, we've been knowing each other ever since the old World of Warcraft video machinima days. So why don't you just tell everybody?
With all the Blood Elf rappers.
Oh my god, I forgot about Blood Elf rap.
There were so many it was like all the WoW channels were just Blood Elf rappers.
That's very true. I don't even remember a lot of I remember Nim, but he was more of like he made like actual big songs and stuff, but then he kind of went into the rap.
No, there were a lot. It wasn't like I mean I could probably whip a few off, but I don't want to like name drop in that way and have it come across insulting.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm not trying to like send people to go insult. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm a fish when I'm in the water. You see me? I'm a fucking shark.
Oh yeah.
I forgot that. It like threw me off for a second. I'm coming over here. There's a pool over here.
Oh wait, is that the using the artifact weapon?
Yeah.
I have that on my gnome mage on EU.
Gross.
Now I know you're gonna say a gnome mage, gross, but I like gnome mages. I think they're fun.
I like currently am so right now technically my shaman is my main. She shows as an item level of 933 because I have my fishing pole on right now, but she's pretty well geared. I think she's like 962 or something like that. Huh. Heroic geared. And I like threw a temper tantrum the other day and was like, I'm main switching. I'm gonna play my mage. So I'm a mage now, I guess. Even though I'm on my shaman. I really, you know what it is? I like the Nightborn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the name Panzer. Just Panzer. Like no Panzer something, like just Panzer. No weird characters. Just felt like a sign.
That is pretty good when you can actually get that OG name. That's why I was WoWcrendor at first, because I was going to be Crendor, but some random person in like Czechoslovakia took it. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess.
And now that's not even a country.
Yep, and then YouTube people got the name for me, so now I have it. So now youtube.com/Crendor actually just redirects
That's like, I didn't have the Facebook name Tradechat. When I made my Facebook back in like 2010, somebody, like it was like the Federal Trade Commission had the name Tradechat for like some weird like grain discussion they were doing. And so I had to be Tradechat on YouTube, and then they finally released it, and Facebook was super nice and they gave me Tradechat, and they also made it so that Tradechat and YouTube automatically forwards to Tradechat, so I didn't have to change all my video descriptions.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was nice of them. Shout out to Facebook.
Speaking of which, I was gonna say, you haven't really told anybody what you do yet if somebody hasn't even heard of you.
Oh, like, well, I mean, I've been on YouTube since like 2009, and I do a lot of like charity streaming, and I recently partnered with Facebook as part of their Facebook Gaming Creator Program.
Wow.
So I've been making videos and streaming on Facebook. but I'm all over the place. I'm just like an entity of the internet.
You are the entity of the internet.
I was on a couple TV shows. I have a weird life.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's the thing that I did.
You're on the one with, was it PlayStation?
Yeah, I was on the Tester, and then I was also on King of the Nerds.
Oh yeah, King of the Nerds. That's the other. I guess King of the Nerds was more prevalent, or like mainstream.
Yeah, I can't shake that one to save my life.
Yeah.
To save my life, that's okay.
But
weird thing, man. It happened. Part of my life.
Reality television. It's not reality.
It's okay. So this is the thing about reality TV. Like everything that you see or hear was done or said, but you 99% probably do not have the proper context to judge whatever you see or is being said as being accurate.
Yeah.
So like anytime in a reality show, when you see footage and there's voiceover behind the footage and you don't physically see the words coming out of someone's mouth, they'll like Frankenstein your sentences. So if you say like, oh, I had a really great day and I want to ride a pony, like they can do like, I had a really great ride pony day. Like they'll like fuck your whole shit up. Sorry for swearing, but they'll literally like reorganize your sentences to fit. Like an example of one of the things that happened to me was we had a cosplay competition, and my team won, and I was really excited because I made 4 out of 5 of the costumes.
Yeah.
Like, I was the only one that had any like experience doing anything like that, so I made my costume and then 3 other people's costumes. I at least put about 80% of the work into, and they had Yaya Han as one of the judges, and she's like a well-known professional cosplay whatever. And she said to me, like, I don't even know how you made your costume, no less how you made it in 24 hours. Like, this is really well done. And I was, like, very proud. And so after we won, I walked inside and I said, I just need 20 seconds to gloat and then I won't say anything else. But Yaya Han said, my costume is the best. And they literally cut out Yaya Han said, and I came in and it said, I just need to gloat. My costume is the best.
Oh, my God.
Well, that was, like, not, I mean, technically I said it, yes, but, like, I wasn't, like, being a dick.
Yeah. They make you
sound
sound
I was certainly
worse than you
attempting not to be a dick.
Yeah, I think they do that with all the shows. Or I think they try to set up situations or scenarios that are gonna make you angrier, more upset than you are. Like, what if we don't let them sleep or eat?
Torture you. Like they they knew I was in the most emotionally charged place because my dad was like terminally ill with cancer. So they would intentionally interview me last in the night and first in the morning. So I was going to bed the latest and getting up the earliest. And then like they ask you when you go on like what your favorite foods are, stuff like that. And they intentionally did not have any of the food in the house that I liked. So it's like you have no comfort food. You're not getting enough sleep. We also didn't have indoor plumbing in the house that I was in. So like we had to use porta potties and porta showers the whole time.
Oh God.
And like that'll fuck with you.
Yeah.
How long can you use a porta shower before you're like not feeling clean, you know? Like they really go out of their way to like mess with you, and like and there's voting involved, and they try to manipulate people's votes, and like that's their job. Their job is to try to make the show as entertaining as possible, not to make the people as comfortable and happy as possible.
Yeah.
Weird.
Shit, dude. Well, that's how we got on the topic of reality television. Let's talk about video games.
Sure.
So how'd you get into just video games in general? Like, what's the first video game you even ever played?
Super Mario Brothers for NES.
Oh shit, the OG.
For sure. And then I also remember playing Sonic the Hedgehog for Sega Genesis. And I remember playing Jazz Jackrabbit on like PC, like MS-DOS.
Oh wow.
I always played games like when I was a kid, and we always had like a game, like some sort of like a PlayStation or whatever. But I never like identified as a gamer. Like even though like I played a lot of video games, it just wasn't like. I think a lot of it was that all the games that we had were like for the family or like for my stepdad or like. So I never really thought of them as my games or my thing. And then I got when I kind of grew up and met he's my husband now, but he was my boyfriend at the time. He played WoW, and it was like a cause of turmoil because I didn't get it. You couldn't pause it. And at the time, like I was a big Halo player. Like I had like probably 2,000-3,000 online games like of ranked Halo. Like I played a lot of Halo, and I didn't understand because like my games were 15-20 minutes long, and then I could take a break, and I didn't get it. And he was like, all right, well, why don't you just try WoW? And if you don't like it, I'll quit, like whatever. And clearly I liked it.
Yeah.
And now I've put an embarrassing, I think I have something like 1.5 years played in World of Warcraft. Nuts, like stupid amount of time. Stupid amount of time.
It's always going to be the person who's still like, that's nothing.
Yeah.
I put
I'm
17
sure
years into it.
I 17
non-stop.
And I walked uphill both ways.
It's like, there's always somebody who's ready to outdo you.
Always.
So, what did you... So you hadn't even played, like, Warcraft, like, the RTS games, or heard of Warcraft before? It was just, WoW was your initial...
Okay, so I had heard of Warcraft and I had heard of World of Warcraft. So my older brother, my stepbrother, played the Warcraft RTS.
Yeah.
So that was lame, of course, because he played it.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend, my friend Ian, played World of Warcraft, and I'd seen it before, and I thought it looked like I liked the graphics, and I thought it was really pretty, but I also knew it wasn't the type of game that you just sat down and played.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of all I knew about it, was that it was like a time-consuming, soul-eating game.
Yeah.
And then I met Nick and saw exactly how time-consuming and soul-sucking it was. And now I play WoW.
What was your first character you made in class?
The first character I ever made on Nick's account was a Blood Elf Warlock. The first character that I ever made on my own account was my Tauren Druid, Panzerbjorn, who is what my YouTube channel is named after. Well, my YouTube persona, I guess.
Yeah.
Now all my characters are like Panzer something.
There's one guy I used to play with, and he named every character Undead something. He'd be like Undead Druid, Undead Blood Elf, Undead Warrior, and that would just be every character he had. And so I was just tied Undead to that guy up until I forgot he existed until like right now.
Oh.
There's a lot of weird memories that like pop back in. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a person I played WoW with like 13 years ago.
Oh yeah. Super weird how that works.
Do you have a lot of like people that you used to play WoW with now that are just gone, or like people you remember that you raided with back then even?
Yeah, it's like weird because I've been in quite a few guilds, and like I was at the very first like serious guild that I was in was called Beef Gone Bad. It was on the Spirestone server, Horde side. And I can't remember our guild, our raid leader's name, and like, which irritates me because I'll think of it as soon as, we're gone. Yeah. But they were like, I met the two people that I met in that guild, like while I was leveling my druid. I was like, so we were in Scarlet Monastery Cathedral. So what would that be, like mid-30s? We were like mid-30s. I was tanking on my druid, Feral, because Guardian didn't exist.
Yeah.
And they were playing on, their names were Curb and Annabelle. And they were great, and I was in a guild with them for a while, and I raided with them for the first time, and like I went through all those growing pains. And then when Wrath of the Lich King came out, I went through my first like watching a guild breakup. And like some people I kind of stayed in touch with, some people I didn't, but at the end of the day, like it wasn't the way it is now. Like now I feel like I have like I've been in the guild I'm in now for going on 5 years. And I feel like we've been through some shit together. Like every year at BlizzCon, we get a guild house and like everybody stays together, and like it's more like a weird like fraternity or something than like anybody else I ever played WoW with before, because so many of us know each other in real life.
How did you meet that guild?
Totally random. Somebody that I followed on Twitter that followed me, like he followed me, I followed him. I was like really sad because I was okay. So I was in this guild for a very short period of time that I thought was going to really work out. It was in Mista Pandaria. I thought this guild was totally going to work out. I felt like we got along really well, and this was going to be my guild, Yeah. And then like I started noticing that the tank had some issues, and I thought he was an alcoholic. Turns out, no, he was a heroin addict. Oh. And he stole a car and ended up going to jail, and then the guild broke up because of that. But they broke up without like telling me. Like I just logged on and the guild was disbanded. Like like it was, and everybody was off the server, and it was like everybody forgot to tell me. And to be fair, I was pretty new in the guild, so I understand. But in the same sense, it like was so sad for me because I thought like I was really gonna fit in with these people, and this was gonna be like my guild. And then they like left the server and transferred, and I was kind of venting about it on Twitter. And one of my Twitter followers was like, hey, so like I'm not trying to like impose, but my guild's pretty good, and this is like our progression, and like I know you're a little behind because you've had like some guild issues, but like we'd love to have you and no pressure, blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, sure. sure, I'll give it a try. And I ended up just getting along with everybody really well, and we meshed really well together. And then really heavy, but my dad died like maybe 2 months, 3 months after I had joined the guild, and they were really supportive during that whole thing, like more supportive than my real life friends were, like just like reaching out and asking me if I was okay or if I needed anything, and like just being willing to like listen while I, you know, whined. And I really became super good friends with a lot of people in the guild, and now I like can't imagine being in another guild. There was actually a whole drama thing maybe a year and a half ago where I was friends with someone that joined the guild later on and wanted to leave the guild, and he wanted me to leave with them, and I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I'm friends with these people. Like, I'm friends with them in real life. Like, I'm not going to leave the guild. And it ended up ruining mine and his friendship because he thought I would just, like, leave the guild with him. And I was like, nah. Like, I can't do that. No.
I noticed there's, like, a lot of people who would be more supportive of things over WoW than they were in real life. Like, a lot of my best memories from WoW are just from meeting online people and like raiding with them or playing with them compared to like doing stuff with real life people, which when it all boils down, it's just people in real life over the internet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that different, but when you're growing up with it, everybody's like, don't talk to those strangers on the internet.
Yeah, it's nuts.
dangerous.
Well, it's somebody was describing Uber to me the other day, and they're like, your whole life you're told like never get in a stranger's car and don't trust people on the internet, and now we like go on the internet to ask a stranger to let us ride in their car.
It's true.
Oh, how times have changed.
Well, even like older people now, how older people like, be careful what you do on that internet. Now they're like, hey, I'm on Facebook and I found all these things on the internet. It's like, were you the one telling me to be careful?
Well, and those are the same people also who are like sharing articles without actually reading them. And,
yeah.
Like, I don't want to blame a generation for fake news, but we grew up with Google and like learning that you had to Google things and that you had to find multiple sources, and that the internet isn't always credible. And I feel like the generation just before us and older, like they didn't learn all those things, so they're sort of winging it as they go. And yeah,
they're going what I went through at like 12. Just like,
oh, they're discovering pornography.
Yeah, exactly. So what was I gonna say? I was gonna tie it into WoW with like Thoughtbot. Like, remember back then?
Oh my god, Thoughtbot.
Yeah, so back then with Thoughtbot, and just, what was the other one? Alakazam. I think Alakazam was another one. So there wasn't a, I don't think WoW, when did WoWhead
WoWhead's been around pretty much forever, but it was only a database.
Yeah.
It like didn't like have it wasn't news, it was just a database for a really long time. And then they added like the talent calculator, and that was like a huge deal. And then I don't think they had like a front page until like 2011 or 2012 where it actually became like a blog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was thinking, like, so I think most people use Thoughtbot just in general, because I think it was the more popular. I don't even remember how it got popular. Man. Yeah, Thoughtbot.
That's a site that existed. I remember in one of my videos, like, bitching at people and being like, don't leave me comments asking what to do in quests. Like, go fucking look it up on Thoughtbot. Which, to be fair, is what I would tell them now, except Wowhead.
Yeah. Do you still work with Wowhead?
Yeah, I'm not partnered with them the way I was like a year ago. Mostly because of my falling out with Twitch, and I was hosting Wowhead Weekly on Twitch, and I was so angry at Twitch that I refused to stream anywhere on Twitch. Like, once in a while I'll be on like my friend's stream for like one occasion, but I'm not gonna like regularly host a show on Twitch when I'm like so publicly anti-Twitch. It just seems hypocritical. Yeah. So I stepped out, and they still post some of my videos, and I still have a great, like, Perk is one of my best friends. Like, I love her. But I don't really do stuff directly with Wowhead as much anymore. And to be honest, it was also a little bit hard for me when people would start introducing me as the girl from Wowhead, and I was like, I've been on YouTube for 10 years.
Yeah.
I was on YouTube for a long time before I ever did anything with Wowhead, and it was such a great opportunity, and I met so many people, and so much was offered to me during that time. But in the same sense, like, I didn't want to be defined by someone else's accomplishments, and Wowhead was not my accomplishment.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
And people would like thank me for stuff. Like, they'd tweet me and be like, oh, thank you for all the hard work you do on Wowhead. And I'm like, I don't do shit. Like, I literally just post Wowhead Weekly. Like, I don't want to be the face of this and get credit for this when I don't do it. It's not like right.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I was gonna somehow try to tie it back into Jeopardy, but I couldn't think of a way.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. So you started playing WoW in Burning Crusade, right?
Yeah, 2007, like November of 2007.
So, what would you say out of all the expansions was your favorite expansion? Was it Burning Crusade?
No, it's probably Wrath of the Lich King, but Legion is like up there. I really enjoyed Legion. I'm still really enjoying Legion. Like I like Legion a lot. I don't think it's like expansion isn't over yet, so I don't think it's like fair to say it's my favorite, but like I don't know, man. Legion has been a blast. It's been great too because my sister has been, her and her husband are like in my raiding guild, so it's like me and my husband and my sister and her husband and then like 10 of our friends. Yeah. So it's like it's been such a great experience raiding this expansion, like having my best friends.
Well, I've always been under the impression that an expansion kind of gets judged by the amount of people you're like playing with or who you're playing with.
Yeah.
More so.
Yeah, it's all about like the memories that you have during the expansion. Although I think Legion content has been phenomenal too, and I think there's been a lot of variety of what to do and like how to do things. Like I leveled my mage only by doing invasions. I didn't do anything but invasions, which was actually terrible in the long run. I got to level 110 and only had 2 followers. Which was problematic.
Yeah.
But you know, I think there's just a lot to do, and there's kind of stuff for everybody, and I think it's been very inclusive. I really like Legion, but I would say as of right now, it's fair to say that Wrath of the Lich King was my favorite. What was your favorite?
Mine was also Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
That
was the glory days.
Yeah, I was playing with some of my favorite people to play with. I enjoyed all the content in Wrath. I had the most fun in Wrath.
Wrath was a good expansion. I liked how alt-friendly Wrath was.
That's true. It was pretty alt-friendly.
It was really alt-friendly. Like, I had a couple different characters that were raiding at the same time, and it wasn't overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now it definitely is, with mythic pluses and how much you have to be, like, prepared.
I was thinking of, like, what changed throughout all the expansions. Because whenever I ask people, like, what's your favorite expansion? It's typically either Classic WoW, TBC, Wrath of the Lich King, or Legion. I don't think I've ever heard people be like, I just loved Cataclysm. Or
Cataclysm was a weird expansion. I feel like Cataclysm was like, it was a lot of stuff that was needed for future expansions, but not a lot of stuff at that time, if that makes any sense. Like, it was the framework for a lot of stuff that was yet to come, but wasn't there yet.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. It was also right after Wrath. That was when they
revamped the world and stuff.
Yeah, I think it was just a mixture of a lot. So it's like revamping the world. So people were like, don't change the world. And then they did it. And then Wrath had just ended. So a lot of people were like, well, I killed Arthas, like Wrath, or just from, what's it called? Warcraft 3. So a lot of people just wanted to play it because of Warcraft 3 and like wrap up the story. And they're like, all right, I don't care about the next guy.
Yep.
And so I think it was just a weird period of WoW. Plus they tried to like bring back a lot of stuff, and they're like, you guys want WoW to be harder, we'll make it harder. And then
they made a lot of weird choices in Cataclysm, and like the same with like Draenor was a lot of like I am one of those people who will stand on my soapbox and be like, you know what, Warlords of Draenor wasn't bad, just the rewards were bad. They actually had like a lot of stuff to do. There was just no fucking point in doing it.
Yeah.
They had just incentivized the content that was in front of them. People would not have complained nearly as much as they did.
Mm-hmm.
But like Apexis crystals, like, what? It's not well done. They made a lot of weird mistakes.
But like garrisons, I even felt were just too like solo play. Like I think if you would have had,
I don't think that the idea of garrisons was problematic. I think how mandatory things in your garrison was problematic. And also garrisons were huge for it to be something for one person. Like they could have had your entire guild do everything in the same garrison and like it would have been better.
Yeah, they could have made it more class hall-esque, which is why I think they made class halls.
And they also said, you know, well, I would argue that I think class halls are kind of dumb. Like, I don't want to run around with Draenei Shaman. Like, I don't care about them.
Yeah.
Like, why am I all of a sudden, like, best friends with them? Like, I don't care about them. Like, I think it's really weird that all of a sudden Horde and Alliance are, like, buddy-buddy.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be cool if they gave you the option of like you could do that, or you could like swap it over to like your guild. So it'd be like a guild hall.
I think it should have always been guild halls. Like, and also like in Warlords, one of the biggest problems they made was that they announced features that didn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
They announced main cities, a Horde and Alliance main city that just got completely scrapped. They announced a battleground that got completely scrapped. They had there was just a ton of stuff that didn't end up happening, and like that was like a lot. Like they were supposed to have your garrison. You were supposed to be able to pick what zone it was in.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then you were supposed to be able to skin it, like so that like if you didn't want an orc one and you wanted like a blood elf one or something, like they had all these like plans that just never happened.
Yeah. So it's like you better like your garrison being in what was it, Frostfire
Ridge.
Yeah. It's like, oh, great.
I hope you like that it snows 365 days a year here.
Yeah, it was. And then Pandaria, I actually didn't mind. I thought Pandaria was kind of cool.
I thought that the gating in Pandaria was really bad. Like, if you didn't have reputation, you couldn't turn in the friggin' tokens that you got from Raid.
Yeah.
And I don't like those types of tie-ins. Like, I think if there's gonna be a gate, it should be before you do the content, not after.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but
I was kind of...
I liked the dailies, and I liked Half Hill a lot.
Yeah, that's like... I didn't really raid much in Pandaria. I'm not gonna lie, I did LFR for the raids. And that's how I experienced them as I was watching, like, Netflix or something.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that the people who are really angry about LFR need to remember that they don't have to do LFR.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always thought LFR was for anyway. It was just either kind of experiencing the raid.
It's supposed to be so that people can see the content that's part of the game that they're not able to because maybe they don't have the time or the guild or the schedule or whatever it may be. And it's definitely not meant to be a substitute for like a real raiding experience.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry for the yawn.
Well, it's almost an elitist thing. In a way where it's
it absolutely
like,
is.
You
what
be able to
elitism
experience
in World of Warcraft? In our World of Warcraft?
Experience in video games? That's crazy. It's the same, like, why even play this game? It's like, well, I have fun. I like playing games.
I try super, 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 super hard to not be an elitist because I think that attitude really can ruin everybody else's experience.
Yeah. It's a lot of it's just a negative attitude in general. You see it in like all aspects of life. I'll even be like watching sports and some guy will be like, "This is just the end of the world. Our team can't do anything. Why even watch?" And it's like, dude, they're just throwing a football around.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, like especially on the internet, there's a lot of negativity. So it's
what negativity on the internet?
That's crazy.
You're crazy.
The thing with the Burning Crusade was since I played vanilla a while, I went into Burning Crusade kind of being like, all right, let's see what's new. And then I played TBC for like a few months, and I think I swapped like some other game for a bit, and then I came back a few months later. So I only have memories.
Do you have this treasure over here? I'm sorry to interrupt. I just found a treasure.
I think I have all the treasures.
Okay. I mean, I got a crude statue, so you see.
I love getting treasures. That's actually one of the things I like do straight up, is get all the treasures. Do
you use handy notes? You must, because you said you're not all caught up on questing. So
yeah, I use it.
Yeah, handy notes is the shit. Wait, I'm listening. So you played Burning Crusade?
Yeah. I played Burning Crusade, and I have like a few memories of like Karazhan. I remember doing Karazhan, Gruul's Lair, and then.
If you did Gruul's, did you do Mags? I feel like those were usually done in tandem. You do like Mag Therodon's Lair and then Gruul's Lair.
Oh yeah, I did. But bless you. Bless you.
Thanks.
I remember we did Mag Therodon's Lair a few times, but I remember doing Gruul's more. Probably because we kept wiping, so we had to do it more. But like, what did you? I'm kind of curious as to like what you did in Burning Crusade. Like, did you level up?
Actually, you bring up Gruul and Mag, and I ran a pug. My guild didn't run Gruul and Mag. I don't know why, but my guild did not run Gruul and Mag, and I used to run with a pug. And the guy who ran its name was Addy, with some weird characters in it on Spirestone, and he was like known on the server for having like the best pugs, and they would always succeed, and you'd only wipe once if you wiped it all, and like they were really fair about loot, and I was always excited when I got to go in Addy's runs. And then I also remember in Burning Crusade going to like the Elemental Plateau to farm out like the Elemental Globes or whatever to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this feral druid who terrorized me and everyone else on the horde. His name was Punkers. He was a night elf feral druid. He had engineering as a profession, and he would wreck people as a feral druid. And then if they got any sort of upper hand on him, he would fucking go flight form, fly away, and then pop his parachute in the air. And while like falling down, he'd be like moon firing you and fairy firing you. He was so good at world PvP. I hate him. And I looked him up recently because I like randomly thought of him as like somebody who terrorized me in my life. And it was really sad because he like doesn't play WoW anymore. Like his character exists, he's there, but like it is clear that he does not play anymore.
Like, is he level 90 or something?
No, I feel like he was 100 or 110. I can't really remember, but like he was in all blues. Like he wasn't wearing good gear at all. And at the time, he was like dripping in PvP gear, and like, you know, it had resilience on it at the time. And
maybe Punker's got a family. Maybe Punker's
I guess so. Punker's the feral druid, the night elf feral druid on Spirestone.
Dang.
To this day, I have flashbacks about that guy. I don't think he understands how deeply he affected me. Like I would like hear that, you know, the sound of like the druid like
oh yeah,
when, like I would hear the sound of that, like him coming out of stealth and like swiping me with his claw, and I was like, this is it, this is how it ends. Guy cannot fight him, let me be clear. He's much better than me.
Did you get into raiding right away back then, or did you PvP for a while, or if you like ever PvP?
I PvP'd a lot leveling up. I really enjoyed twinking before they added like experience to Battlegrounds. Yeah, it's funny because you're sitting here fishing and I'm running around and going to the pools and stuff because I have ADD and can't sit still for that long. Anyways, I really enjoyed like doing PvP leveling up, but I didn't enjoy PvP at a max level because I felt like it just was about time that you spent PvPing. Like, you know what I mean? Because it had to do at the time with like your gear, and like you'd go in and as like a new player, it just wasn't fun. And Nick used to PvP all the time though.
Did he like
arenas
PvP?
And stuff? Him and Mike.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I guess
Mike
TBC was when they added arenas.
Yep.
I forgot about that because I remember
they used to do a lot of arenas in like BC.
Yeah, I remember arenas came out back then. I think there was only like 2 or 3 arenas.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't know. I like, whenever I think PvP, I think of Battlegrounds. That's just me.
I used to do a lot of the Twink Battlegrounds, but then they took experience out or added experience in, and I was over it.
Yeah. Well, can't you disable it?
Yeah, and then you're only playing against other people who had disabled it, and that defeats the purpose entirely.
That's true. It's like in League of Legends.
It's not twinking if you're only playing against other twinks.
It's like in League when you make a character and then it like starts matching you with those people that are like, oh yeah, this is a good person on just a new account, and then they all just fight each other instead of, you know.
All the Smurfs, the War of the Smurfs.
Yeah, the War of the Smurfs.
Yep.
I was gonna bring up League stuff, but I'm like, this is like WoW. Well,
I love League. It's okay.
I love League too. League is like the first game, or well, I guess it would be like WoW and some other games, but League is the first game where it's like you're either League or you're Dota.
You got me into League.
Did I?
And I've never played Dota. Never, not even one time.
Wow.
Yep, not even one time. I played Heroes. I've played some other League type games, but I've never actually played Dota. Because I was like, no, I play League. And I'm very much on that you don't play like 2 of the same game. The only reason I think it's okay to play League and Heroes is that I think Heroes is much more intuitive for people who don't play those types of games. So like if you're playing with friends who don't really know what they're doing, like I think Heroes is a lot friendlier than League is.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because of like no shopping, you don't have to know all the items. It's much less overwhelming.
Yeah, you just pick your talents and be like, hey, it's pretty much.
And honestly, the talent choices barely matter.
Yeah.
They do at a serious level, but you know, when you're just playing with friends and messing around, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. It's like when I was playing Heroes on streams, people were like, oh my god, he's doing that build on Ragnaros. I'm like, dude, I don't care about this game. Like, I'm just having fun. I'm goofing around.
It's sad to me like how many people just forget like that video games at their core are meant to be like a thing. They're
I
not.
have fun when I'm winning at the most high level.
You don't, though. You're stressed until you actually win.
It is
Unless
true.
you're like
Well,
stomping, in which case, like, honestly, when I'm in games and I'm like really, really, really kicking the shit out of the other team, like, I don't really feel good about myself.
yeah.
You know, you have a moment where you're like, yeah, I'm doing so good. And then you like, I don't know, I guess I realize that they're not having a good time and they're like not even defending themselves. It's not a close game. Like it's, you just kind of feel like you're beating up the B team. I don't know. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, that was like yesterday we played and we won a 3v5 because their guy DC'd. And I felt bad because I told him that I hope he goes to Denny's and they get his order wrong and then he tries to change it, but they don't let him change it. And then
Rude.
he is like, I don't go to Denny's. And then he DC'd. And then he never came back and we won. And I was like, man, I didn't want it to actually happen.
I didn't want it to actually happen. Meanwhile, he's at Denny's crying over his fucking Grand Slamwich.
He probably was. Have you ever had a Grand
Oh my God, I kind of
Slamwich?
love Denny's. Like, it's really weird because I feel like throughout my life, like I grew up very poor. Like, okay, so actually it's weird. I kind of alternated between having like parents that were okay and then being poor because they were very financially irresponsible.
Yeah.
So I've lived in like severe poverty. Like I'm talking like going to the food bank poor. And
Oh,
like
God.
as an adult, my only goal in life is like financial stability. I don't care if I'm rich. I just always want to be able to pay my bills. And I don't want to feel like, oh, I need to look to see if I can stop and get fast food. Like, you know what and I've been there and I was there for a long time. So like, it's not like I'm judging anybody who's in that situation. I'm just saying these are my goals. But like at the end of the day, I find all of my like comfort foods are very ghetto. Like they're like they're clearly someone who like there was definitely a time in my life where it was like a privilege to be able to go sit down at Denny's and eat. And like the day that I got married, when we left my wedding reception, I like wanted nothing but Denny's nachos. So like I went to Denny's the day I got married because like that's a comfort food for me. And like when I'm really hungry and I don't know what to eat, Nick will go to McDonald's and just get like a fish fillet or whatever because I'll always eat it. It's like comfort food. There's nothing you can do that will make me not want to eat that. Like it's just weird how no matter how far I've brought myself out of like food bank poverty, I still am like, ooh, is that a can of Vienna sausages? Let me get one of those. Danielle, that's barely meat. I don't care.
So, I'm kind of curious what your favorite fast food place is.
So, okay, that's a strange question for me because I feel like my all-time top tier favorite fast food is Popeyes.
Oh, whoa.
But that's not, the Popeyes near me is like always super busy. Like you are never waiting less than 20 minutes. I'm not kidding. Like it takes about 15 minutes to get there. You get there and you are in the drive-thru for probably 15 minutes before you get to the speaker to talk to somebody. And then it's another 15 minutes before you get your food. It's always slammed. So it's not fast food I get often. So, but from like the big guys, you know, like Wendy's, Burger King, I almost would always pick McDonald's. Although I'm really pissed off they took high C off the menu.
Oh, yeah, I remember they said that. That's like...
Because that was all I ever ordered. I'm not a big soda drinker. So like I was really, really upset they got rid of high C.
Is there even a reason they got rid of high C?
Because they're stupid and their mom's a hoe.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty good reason to do it.
Yeah, I understand. They were spiteful.
Yeah.
And then you'll ask. Like every once in a while I ask, like all of a sudden they're magically going to have it again. I'll be like, do you have orange high C? And they're like, no, we have Fanta. And I'm like, that is not the same thing. Do not get your Fanta out of here. I mean, yes, I'll take the Fanta, but like, it is not the point.
I bet that's why they did it. They probably did it to supplement Fanta.
It's Coca-Cola's chokehold on the industry, I guess.
Yep.
Right?
Sad time.
Coca-Cola owns Fanta.
Yep.
It's crazy when you start looking at the labels of things and you find out like who owns what. Like I've been on a Lacroix kick lately, but I think Lacroix is self-owned. I don't think anybody
really?
owns Lacroix, but like Dasani water is owned by Coca-Cola. Minute Maid orange juice is owned by Coca-Cola. Like you can't escape it. They own everything.
That's why I noticed Minute Maid's the one orange juice that doesn't, or they're like orange juice from concentrate, and all the other ones
Oh,
are
you
like
know
not
what?
from
Maybe it's
concentrate.
maybe it's the Simply Orange, or what is the one that's like in the plastic bottle with the orange top?
Oh yeah, Simply. Yeah, it's Simply.
Is that the
then.
one? Whatever. It's that one is made by Coca-Cola.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's weird when you start looking into it, like how many companies are owned by other companies. That's the same thing with like fast food, like Taco Bell and KFC and like maybe
Wendy's.
Arby's are all owned by the same people.
Yeah, that's why you'll see the combos some places where they're like,
Yeah.
hey, it's Wendy's,
Those
Taco
are the
Bell,
best.
Taco Bell, KFC.
Like so when I lived in my like old house, there was a place that was half Long John Silver's Wait, is that right? Is that a fast food place?
Yeah.
So it's half Long John Silver's and half A&W.
Oh my god.
And they at some point they closed they turned one of them into Taco Bell. So it was like half A&W and half Taco Bell. They turned the long, but like I used to always go and get the Long John Silver's, and they had these like deep fried clams, and then I would get the deep fried friggin' cheese curds from A&W and like a root beer. And Nick's like, you're gonna weigh 100 pounds, like more than you do. You're gonna gain so much. Like, I don't care, as I'm eating all my deep fried like barely food. I like fast food. I wish I didn't, because I know it's really bad for you, but I do enjoy fast food.
Yeah.
And where I live right now is horribly inconvenient. There's a plaza that's like 2 blocks away from my house. Like, I live in the suburbs, but I'm right off of like a main road. So like if I get on that main road, a half a mile in any direction, there's a Wendy's, a Burger King, 2 Starbucks, a Dunkin' Donuts, a Tim Hortons, multiple pizza places. Also Grubhub. I moved to a bigger city. Grubhub, it's bad. I think I'm keeping them in business. I order from Grubhub so often.
I've never
like, it's worth $5.99 to
to
not leave the house. Yes.
I always just go and like pick up stuff, but I feel like it's just because I don't want to pay the money. I'm just like, you know what? I'll go pick it up.
It's worth the $5.99 to not get out of bed or chair or wherever I am. Lazy.
Will they legit go like anywhere for you?
What?
Like, how's that work? Like Grubhub?
No,
like,
it's not. Postmates will go anywhere for you, but I don't trust Postmates.
Oh, I see.
Grubhub a lot of times is the delivery drivers from the restaurant. Like, I know they have Grubhub drivers too, but Grubhub is just like an app that tells you all the places that deliver nearby, and some of them it's like their drivers, some of them it's like Grubhub drivers, but it's like limited. But what's cool about it is that restaurants can turn it on and off whenever they want. So like, I live near Rochester, and sometimes like the inner city Rochester restaurants will like turn on their Grubhub, so we'll get delivery from like, there's a place called Funkin' Waffles that's like makes crazy delicious waffles. So every once in a while I'll see like Funkin' Waffles is delivering, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, $5.99. Getting me some waffles, boys.
I think the only other person I've talked to that's deeply about fast food is Asmongold.
You know, him and we're one and the same, I'm convinced. We're just on different ends of the same spectrum, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like when I was on Allcraft, he was ready to dislike me and didn't. Like, but I feel like there was a part of him that was like ready for me to be that like fake gamer grill.
Yeah.
And then I really am not. Like, I'm not saying I'm the greatest of anything in the entire world, but like, I play a lot of video games, and for the most part, I don't talk about things I don't know about.
You like games and you like fast food. That's the combo.
I do. I'm a little OCD about cleanliness though, so like,
yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think he cleaned up his room though, so I'm proud of him.
Yeah. A little bit.
On his perspective of cleanliness, at least.
Yeah, I think he thinks he cleaned his room for sure.
It's like there's like some people can eat fast food and just be fine. I think he's one of those people. It's like that guy is eating Big Macs every day for 50 years. I feel like that's Asmongold. Like, he can just
I feel like that's, I eat a lot of fast food too, and I never gain weight. It's, you know what, you get, some people gain weight from stress and some people lose weight from stress, and I think me and Asmongold, like, we are people that our metabolism goes fast when we're stressed. And like, whether people want to believe it or not, being anywhere in the public eye, even if it is just streaming, is an inherently stressful thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
So I just think his little hummingbird metabolism burns off all those Arby's and Wendy's and Taco Bell that I don't eat Taco Bell though. I don't fuck with Taco Bell.
I love Taco Bell.
Ooh, no, I don't. I don't have the proper enzymes to digest Taco Bell.
Dude,
comes out the same as it went in, whole tortillas.
I've like gotten my gallbladder out right, but
yeah,
I've been able to eat all the things I normally eat, and I'm fine. And I actually think I feel better without a gallbladder.
Well, I'm sure you do, because your gallbladder wasn't functioning right, so...
Yeah. It is very true. But I was one of those people, even growing up, where I would eat terribly. Like, I'd get fast food. I'd drink, like, 3 sody pops a day. I'd be like, I'd be going ham, and then everyone's like, how are you not gaining weight? And I'm like, I don't know. But, I mean, from all that... yeah.
Well, I've stopped drinking soda. I'm on a Lacroix kick, because Lacroix is weird magic. So it doesn't actually have anything in it. It's just carbonated water, and they call it essenced. And I looked it up online. And what they do is they have oils extracted from whatever flavor it is that they put in like filters. and before they carbonate the water, they like pass the water through the filters, but the filters are full of oil, so it's not like it can ever integrate into the water. But like the water will catch like tiny, tiny, tiny microscopic particles of whatever the fuck causes the flavor. It's weird. It's magic. It's weird magic.
That's some science.
But it's strange because it tastes like nothing and exactly what it's supposed to taste like simultaneously. If anyone out there in internet land wants to try Lacroix for the first time, if you like Mountain Dew, try the key lime Lacroix. I feel like it's the starter. It's like Lacroix light. Like it's closer. It's kind of sweeter and more flavored than other ones are, even though like there's no sugar and it's not even like there's no sugar, but there's like sweet and low or whatever. Like, no, there's nothing. There's nothing. It's weird.
I kind of want to try key lime Lacroix now.
You would, I think you would think it was okay, especially since I know you're like the type of guy, you drink a lot of tea and like, or you did at least at one point. So like, I know that like you do black coffee and like things not being super sweet wouldn't bother you. Try the key lime Lacroix. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
Or at least you won't hate it.
Yeah, I'll try that. I mean, I pretty much just drink. I've actually kind of gotten rid of sody pops out of my diet as well.
I'm trying. It's because as I'm getting older, I realized that the dentist is a thing you can't just keep avoiding forever. Dude. And I was I went to the dentist after having not gone for like 10 years. Nick finally made me go. Yeah. And it was whatever. It was okay. They wanted to do fillings on like teeny tiny cavities that apparently I didn't. They're like, oh, you probably would never notice these, but we'd rather like get them filled now. And then I had a cavity that had been filled a long time ago, like when I was like a teenager, and like it broke out of my tooth when I was at a convention. Like I was chewing bubble gum, which I understand I should not have been chewing double bubble. Yeah. Like I should know better than to chew double bubble, but I was chewing double bubble, and all of a sudden I felt like this huge crunch in my tooth, like searing pain in my jaw. And I pulled the piece of gum out of my mouth, and it was like half a tooth. Like it was. Oh God. That filling was enormous, and I was in Indiana, so like I had to wait until I got home. And Nick made me an appointment, and they like wanted to do X-rays, and I was like, I hate the dentist so much. Like I'm not a good dental patient at all. I feel like I've read too many stories about women being assaulted while like at a dentist. I don't know why. Like too much true crime when I was a teenager, I guess. But like, so I just hate the dentist. It gives me inherent anxiety. And they wanted to like lean me back and do the X-rays. I'm like, no, you're just gonna fix the tooth that's broken. And they're like, we need to do X-rays to do that. I'm like, you don't actually. They end up giving me like the gas to calm me down. I'm high as a fucking kite. I don't know if you've ever done laughing gas before. Good God, like people should use that recreationally. I'm sort of kidding, but not. It was great. And like the doctor came in, the dentist, and I was like, do you use this recreationally? He turned the gas way up and left. He came back. I was like twitching. I couldn't even move. He's like, are you good? I like struggled to make a thumbs up, and he was like, she's good. I was like in a coma high. It was amazing.
Dear God.
There's nothing better than being legally high. Like when a doctor gives you medication that puts you on cloud 9 and you're just like, yes.
Dude,
not that I suggest doing drugs, kids, because I don't. Like, do not do drugs. Don't take medicine that your doctor didn't give you. But when you go to the dentist and you pay for laughing gas for anxiety, there's nothing wrong with enjoying it. That's all I'm saying.
When I got my gallbladder out, they were like, all right, we're going to give you all this stuff, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm going to give you a sedative, kind of calm you down. And I'd only had like 4 hours of sleep or something already. I was like, all right. And so they like gave me that. And I was like, all right, I think I'm feeling pretty good. Was
it a pill? Did they give you Vicodin?
No, they put it in my IV.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So it was like something, it was some crazy shit. And so I don't remember. Is that what that is?
I can't remember.
I don't know, but after about 3 minutes, I don't remember anything. And they're like, do you remember when the doctor came in? And so I was like, nope. Like, do you remember? And I was like, nope. And they're like, you even like gave him a thumbs up, and I was like, I don't remember any of that. And all I remember was like a 2-second moment of them putting the gas mask thing on me, like wheeling me in, and I was already gone by then. So I was like,
I was already gone by then.
Yeah, that was some crazy shit, whatever it was.
Yeah, what are you gonna, sometimes you just gotta be sedated. I want to be sedated. This podcast has taken a weird turn. This fishing has taken a weird turn.
It is, but that's why I do this show.
Let me be clear. Don't do drugs unless a doctor orders you to take them.
I have terrible luck at the dentist. I have like 5 crowns. Maybe 6 crowns.
I don't. Well, that's like a genetic thing too. Like there are people who take super good care of their teeth and their teeth are like falling out of their head. Like that is, I did not realize, but the pH of your mouth is the determining factor.
Yeah.
Of like whether or not your teeth are going to be super susceptible to cavities. And I'm pretty lucky because like I never go to I hate the dentist. I never really go. And I've only got like that one big filling. Then I've got a couple little ones that don't really matter. But like Nick takes way better care of his teeth than I do. And it's like every 2 weeks, it seems like he's got to get a root canal and like,
yep.
And I know he takes good care of his teeth. I know he does.
Yeah.
And he's just unlucky.
That's how I am too. I've got his problems where I've got all these crowns. I used to get a lot of fillings as a kid, and then all my fillings had to turn into crowns. It's like you can't.
Yeah,
keep
he
filling.
said that filling that I popped out that he had to put back in, that if that happened again, if I like lost that filling, then it would have to be a crown. And I was like, can't you just take it out? I don't want it. And he was like, that's not how this works. I'm like, I don't really care.
Well, if it could, the crown's not bad. They just put a cap thingy on it, and you're good to go. But like, once you hit root canal status, it's like, I don't.
Yeah,
nah.
I know.
See, my
and then Nick tells
cracked.
me things, and I'm like, I'm afraid of the dentist. Like everything you're saying is so incredibly unhelpful.
Yeah, it's like my one tooth cracked like yours, but I had to get a crown on it. And he's like, if it would have cracked a little bit further and hit the root, you would need a root canal or something like that. And I was like, okay.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So do all of your fishing guests normally talk about like doing drugs and fast food in League of Legends?
And calling McDonald's mom a hoe? Not really. I can't say that they do. Granted, I've done like, I'm approaching 40 of these. Like I've done quite a few fishing things. I fished with a lot of people.
Look at you.
I don't think anybody has brought it to that level. I think you might be the first.
Sorry. It's always me. It's always me. I feel like this is a very low energy podcast or what. I keep calling it a podcast. It's really not, but whatever. I feel like it's very low energy. I should have gotten coffee first, but for the record, we were supposed to start like an hour and a half before we did, but Crendor had just woken up, and then like we got chit-chatting, and then all of a sudden we were like, fuck, we should do the thing we came to do. Yeah,
it was true. That happens a lot. I'll actually get talking to people, and I'm like, all right, and then I'm like, oh yeah, we should probably record this.
We should do the thing. We should do the thing.
I was gonna ask you another WoW thing to bring it back to WoW.
Oh, bring it back. Circle back.
Bring it back. I forgot what I was gonna say too. I had it. Isn't that like a weird thing? Just forgetting what you're gonna say. Oh yeah,
it's super weird how your brain betrays you all the time.
Yeah, and it's not even a thing where I had it.
My brain betrays me all the time. I'll be halfway through a story and be like, I do not know where I was going with this. It also doesn't help that I have pretty severe ADHD. Like I went to a doctor like when I was 27 and got formally diagnosed. And like somebody who would be recommended to take ADHD medicine would score like a 20. I scored a 42.
Oh my God.
And they had me on Adderall for like a year. And like truthfully, I was super productive and sane on Adderall, but like it's not good for you.
Yeah.
And they had me on like a pretty high dose, and it was like affecting my sleep really badly. So I like weaned off of it, and I ended up taking like an anti-anxiety medication instead. But like it does not, like it helps with the anxiety from the ADHD, but it doesn't help with the ADHD. So I often lose what I'm saying halfway through because I'm already on to something else.
My friend Steve is like that. He has it pretty bad. He will be eating and he'll just start playing with his food randomly, and I'm like, why are you playing with your food? And he's like, I didn't even know I was doing that.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I move around a lot. I fidget a lot. It's actually like ADHD is super helpful in a lot of things because like I've coped with it for so long that I'm like able to kind of use it to be advantageous. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm driving and I'm just like, how did I get here? Like I've been so deep in thought while I was driving that I look up and I'm just like, what? Where did the last 5 minutes go? Like, it's not like I black out or anything, but have you ever done that where you're like so deep in your own thought that you like are really not consciously perceiving what's around you?
You're zoned out.
Yeah, zoned out in the... Not now, Chief. I'm in the fucking zone. Oh my God, do you remember that video? Yeah, that's my new haircut. Oh my God, E-Bombs World.
I do remember E-Bombs World.
I do too. Did you ever see the guy Frederick Fox on E-Bombs World?
That sounds familiar. I probably did.
He was a weirdo, and he made videos before people made videos, and I just thought he was the funniest guy. And like, I watched one of his compilations the other day, and I was like, he's not funny, but he's certainly not as funny as I thought he was.
There's a lot of things with that. I'll go back and watch stuff I used to watch, and I'm like, It's not as funny as I thought it was, but it's still all right.
Pretty much every internet video from our teenage years was not nearly that funny. It's just that we only had about 5 to choose from. Yeah.
And we were teenagers.
Yeah, teenagers they're a breed of, they're something, all right.
They are something. I just remember being, how old was I? I think I was like, when I started playing WoW, I think I was 14, 13. And then I remember just playing WoW, and I'd watch like Flash stuff and E-Bombs World and like Newgrounds. And those were like the main things I went to. That's how I found Ego Raptor, actually. I remember I saw his old stuff on Newgrounds, and I was like, this dude's pretty funny.
Valid.
By the way, great guy. I fished with him on like episode 24 or something. Check it out.
Yeah, he seems super nice. I like talked to him briefly around the time when he was on the tester, but like the tester wasn't a good experience for either of us, so we didn't bond over that.
Yeah, I remember he said he didn't have a great time either, probably because of many of the reasons.
He was like trying to be like funny about it, and they were taking it super seriously and making it seem like he was an asshole for not taking it super seriously, when you're like, you understand that QA is like a minimum wage job, like like this is not the premise of this show is silly, like everybody's just here to be on a show. Yeah.
Well, that's another one of those things like we talked about earlier with all the reality stuff they put you through, and then just having to...
The tester wasn't nearly as bad as King of the Nerds, though. The tester was completely filmed. I was there until the last episode, and it was filmed in 8 days.
Oh.
Start to finish, it was 8 days. When I was on King of the Nerds, it was like 35 days.
Oh my god. That is
and I wasn't allowed to call home, and my dad was dying of cancer, and like they're brutal, and they were mean to me. Like and I'm not like trying to play the victim, but in my interviews they'd be like, all right, Danielle, so if you lose today's challenge and then you end up going home and then your dad dies, do you think you're gonna feel responsible?
Oh my god.
Yes, like all the time. That was like hammered into my head. They were horrible to me. I was like fucked up from that show for a little while because of like how I was treated. They just went out of their way to make me uncomfortable and to make other people, like they try to manipulate other people into not liking you too. Like they want there to be drama, so they try to get people to like turn against each other, and like the things they show on TV are not what's really happening in practice. Like they showed me getting really mad at Josh, and like the reason I got mad at Josh was because me and Josh had a conversation where he said, you know, I really respect that you're here for your dad, and like it doesn't really matter in an elimination challenge, I would not vote for you because I really respect the reason that you're here. And then the producers manipulated him into voting for me, and I got pissed at him because I was like, why would you tell me that you would not vote for me and bring up my dad and make it this big emotional thing and then vote for me? And like he was like, because the producers are dicks, and like I felt like I had to, and like, you know, like, and I get it, and I wasn't really mad at him on a personal level, but they made it seem on TV like I wanted to kill him, and I really didn't.
That shit's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I just make videos on the internet.
Big old drama llama.
Well, I mean, we've been talking for about an hour, so I think
it's been una hora.
That's Spanish for something.
Yeah. For 1 hour.
Wow. I should have guessed that, but
yeah, let me be clear to anybody who speaks Spanish or any dialect of Spanish. I'm sorry. I'm positive that was butchered, but like I will have you know, I did get an A in high school Spanish.
I just thought you were like making that up, so I was like, I don't think that means.
No.
Okay,
well, I think it's una hora. I think that's 1 hour. Anyways, it's neither here nor there, is what it is.
Anyway, thanks for fishing, and
thanks for having me.
Yeah, where can people find you?
I stream on Facebook every Tuesday and Thursday from noon to 4:20 Eastern time. It's fb.gg/Tradechat. If you want to watch my YouTube videos, it's youtube.com/Tradechat. I'm pretty much Tradechat everywhere on your internets.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. Wait, where can people find you? I'm recording this. I'm also going to make a video because why not?
Oh, all right. Hey, come on down to youtube.com/WoWcrendor. Check out my backlog of fishing with people. You might know some of them. Also, I do things. Look up Crendor. That's me.
Yeah, he streams on Twitch, and he makes YouTube videos, and he's got a podcast, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
check me out. And
it's really weird because I feel like we haven't talked in like 6 months or a year, and like it doesn't feel like that at all. Like we've been friends for so long. I'm just like, oh, Crendor.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this more often?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh my gosh, wait. One last funny story before we actually wrap up. So I just recently had a company go into my YouTube channel and do like back-end analytics, and they optimize all of your tags so that your videos are like showing up in your recommended videos and stuff like that. And they didn't know what playlist feature. And do you know what one of the playlists that was up for, they were like, oh, which one do you want us to feature? Nomophobic.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, indeed. That was like a video series that me and Crendor did in probably 2010 or 2011, where we both played gnomes with really strange accents that just kept talking about AIDS. Like, it was terrible.
It was
and not funny and not good at all. And we stopped doing it after like 2 recording sessions. Yeah. They were like, oh, would you like to use this playlist? I'm like, absolutely not. No.
I forgot that was even a thing. Wow.
Yeah, I did too until it came up the other day.
I just blocked that out. Repress that memory.
That one out of my memory completely. But anyways, all right. Well, cheers, mate.
See ya.
See ya.